I'm starting with a primer, and while that's not mandatory, it does help with a smooth application and a longer lasting finish. The drugstore has some really great ones, just make sure it's the right fit for your skin type. Moving on to foundation, I really recommend this one from L'Oreal, the Infallible Fresh Wear. It has really good coverage without being cakey, and you can apply foundation with a brush, sponge, or even your fingers, but I prefer a damp sponge. Make sure you cover your entire face going up to your hairline and all the way past your jawline. Start with less because it's easier to add more than to take some away. You want your face to be a blank canvas, and we'll add definition back in later. Concealer is also optional, but I really recommend it if you have dark under eye circles or acne that foundation just can't cover. Personally, I use it for both of those reasons and to also highlight the high points of my face. When blending it in, make sure to be thorough so there's no obvious light spots and there's no creasing in the under eye area. Unless you have very dry skin, I cannot recommend powder enough. We wear show makeup for long periods at a time and we sweat a lot, so it's important to set your base makeup so it stays in place all day. Defined eyebrows are mandatory. Unless you have experience with makeup, I think pencils are the easiest way to fill them in. And I'm sorry if it's hard to see what I'm doing, I wasn't really paying attention when I was recording this, but I start with brushing my hairs up. Then I start from the middle of the brow going out and repeat that on the top of the brow. I fill it in and then start making my way in towards the front of the brow. Again, that's just personally how I like to do it. Everyone does makeup a little bit differently. I also like to set the hairs in place with eyebrow gel, but that is totally optional. Another optional step is eye primer. I recommend this as it makes it easier to blend shadow, makes the shadow show up better, and makes your eye makeup last way longer. Next is eyeshadow. If you're looking for a cheap palette, I recommend Wet n Wild, or a little more expensive than that is CoverGirl. Both have really affordable palettes that sparkle and shine and blend like a dream. Based on your skin tone, you want to choose a crease shade that's going to add depth. For me, it was this medium brown. From there, you're going to want to add a gold color to your lid, and if you don't want to have an extra brush, your finger works just as well for this step. Finally, add a lighter shimmer shade to your inner corner for some contrast, and if you want, you can highlight your brow bone too. Due to my eye shape, I also like to smoke out the crease shade on my lower lash line. It's time for eyeliner. An eyeliner pen, liquid, or gel all work for this, but with pencil it's a little bit more difficult to get a good wing, so I'd recommend one of the first three. The two ways I do winged liner is to either line my eye first and then flick it out, or draw the base of the wing and cut across my lid. And it can be difficult to get it to look exactly how you want it to, but unfortunately the only solution is to just keep practicing. And the last step for the eyes is mascara. You might want to get waterproof since the UMass marching band likes to perform rain or shine, but really it all comes down to preferences and what you're looking for. Bronzer isn't required, but very highly recommended. I use the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. It works amazing and smells like coconuts. Like I said earlier, your face is a blank canvas and you're going to want some of that definition back. The trick with bronzer is to apply it in the shape of the number 3, going from the perimeters of your forehead to the hollow of your cheeks to your jawline. Blush color is a personal preference. I like to use this one from Wet n Wild called Apricot in the Middle. Blush application depends on your face shape, but a general rule of thumb is to start from the apples of your cheeks and go outwards. Highlight is optional, but it's also my favorite step. The shimmering highlighting powder from e.l.f. is a really good drugstore option. Highlight goes on the high points of your face to, you guessed it, highlight them. If you're willing to spend a little more money, the Maybelline Master Chrome is one of the best golden highlights on the market. If you're on a bit of a tighter budget but still want to shine to the gods, Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder is also a really good choice. And yes, I did put 3 separate highlights on my face to give you guys options. We're almost done, but moving on to lipstick. Exactly what kind you buy is up to you, but it has to be a medium red shade. In this video, I use Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade Pioneer. The formula is super comfortable to wear and lasts practically all day. Finally, one last optional step is setting spray. It helps your makeup look a little more skin-like and also makes it last longer. I try to fan myself with literally whatever's in reach to help it dry quicker. And that's it! It might look and sound a little overwhelming, but once you get the hang of it, it's a super easy makeup look. I can't wait for the upcoming season, and I'll see you guys at band camp. Bye!